Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Episode. Tarek, I got a fun and random episode for you guys this evening because last week Z-Team released a demo for Maria Renard's Revenge, an Amiga game that they are porting over to the Sega Saturn. And if you've been watching my most recent videos, it seems like the Saturn is having a massive resurgence in 2024. We already got a new complete version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night earlier in the year, and now we have a new Castlevania experience as well. Now this is just definitely a demo. It is not finished, it does have bugs, and to get rid of the level 1 and get actually into the graphics of the game, you have to hit the start button while you're playing, or else you're going to have the black and white grayscale with the level 1 moniker over top the screen. But this is just so much fun to see. This is highly stylized, it looks great running on the Sega Saturn, and it is a fun experience, and it really makes me want to see what Z-Team comes out with next, because obviously this is not a completed demo. You can get up to stage 3 as far as my playthrough was concerned, and then the game basically stops from there. But what is on offer here is just wildly impressive. I've loved covering these fan games, and it's been so much fun in January to talk about all these new Sega Saturn experiences. We're up to like 5 of them at this point in time, and obviously Castlevania being one of the most famous and beloved franchises of all time, that makes it even the better, and getting a Maria playable here is even icing on the cake. Obviously this is definitely inspired by Rondo of Blood with some Symphony of the Night tones in there as well. Pretty much every enemy on screen, you just need to hit them once and they will die. If you get hit once, you're also going to die, and it seems like early in the game, if you die, it just gives you a game over and sends you right back to the menu. But as you get further into level 1, once you die, you actually do get a checkpoint status. Now I will say, you do have to be very far to the right of the screen before you scroll, so you definitely want to move slowly in this demo. If you blindly rush ahead, you are going to fall into pits and you're going to hit enemies. But that's totally fine, because obviously this is still an unfinished product, and what is here is very impressive. But you'll see you do get a little bit of a menu, new game credits, and quit just to leave the game in and of itself. I am running this on Mednafen. I tried it on Mr. FPGA and it did boot, but I had a couple extra graphical glitches, so maybe it's using a mode that isn't yet in the core. But you'll see here, the minute you start the game, if you take a hit, you're going to be kicked back to the game over screen and the menu. So just jump the minute you start and move left, you will be safe from there. But again, it's just so amazing to see all the love the Sega Saturn is getting in 2024. And the next time something like this happens, I'm definitely going to make a video, because the Sega Saturn is one of my favorite consoles of all time. And you'll see the boss takes one hit, the orb comes down, you go to a black screen, it is loading in. And again, remember, if you want to see the color and get rid of the level 2 sprite, you have to hit enter on every stage when you load in. It just seems like it's not completing that transition without actually pushing a button. But I love the art style of this, and I'm sure a lot of that comes down to this starting life on the Amiga, where it's definitely going to be more complete. Now, I'm not the biggest Amiga fan in the world, it's just not something that I have the knowledge base for, but this looks absolutely outstanding. Definitely looks like it is the sprite work from Rondo of Blood, and you can't really go wrong with that. Obviously this is not Symphony of the Night Maria here, but some of the enemies seem to be original and some of the enemies seem to be borrowed from different games. Now again, you definitely want to wait and see what's going on in the right side of the screen. I can see this little icon, this little platform coming in here, but I'm really not sure what's going to happen, so you want to be careful. But just take a look at all of the sprite work in the background while we're paused here. That dripping ooze from the ceiling, all of that dithering in the background, those blood red banners coming off from the top. This one screen right here just looks so good and is really indicative of the overall art style of what this game has to offer. But now that we pixel peeped enough, we can start moving back towards the right and seeing what's going to happen over here. Now there are these platforms, you do have to advance along with them. You're not just going to levitate on them. You need to tap the right button if you want to move along, and you'll see here I did fall down. But luckily, once you get past the opening area of level 1, once you die, the game does let you basically continue from almost to where you were before. Some of these gaps here you can just 100% jump over, so it seems like maybe the level implementation isn't final yet. You can obviously just do Maria's double jump and you're going to pop right up here. Now there is a key which definitely reminds me of Rondo of Blood, but I can't find any way to pick it up whatsoever. Either I'm missing something or it's not implemented in the game yet, but I'm sure when there's a new version of this, we're going to get a lot more gameplay, and I will definitely do a follow-up video. But I will say this also has some really nice music as far as the demo is concerned, so go ahead and listen for 45 seconds. I'll come back and show you what else exists of Maria Renard's Revenge. Enjoy! Really fun music there, and as we beat that boss, we go to a black screen before we load into stage 3. So either all of the enemies either have 1 hit point, or Maria does infinite damage because you can destroy a boss with 1 hit. And again, remember, the start button is going to actually bring the level alive. You can move around with it black and white, and it is a fun vibe, but you definitely want the color. Now here in stage 3, either everything is completely invincible or it's not coded in yet, because none of the enemies are going to be able to be killed. This definitely has some more Rondo vibes, and it is a lot of fun, and I love the color profiles that they've chosen here. This doesn't really ring like a Sega Saturn game, but knowing it's coming over to the Saturn is going to be a ton of fun, and it's one of those things. These projects are always being developed, and it is really interesting to see. But look at the animations in the sprites here. That bee, what I assume is a Venus flytrap or some sort of other man-eating plant there. It has a good animation quality. Maybe it could use a few more frames, and maybe that is on the docket for improvements to this demo. But as you just look right here with that dark sky going into like that purple and blue, it is a very effective art style. When you have the tombstones and all of the other grass and trees in the background, it does definitely work, and I would say the scrolling is smooth, and you do get a tiny bit of parallax here and there, but you do need to look pretty closely for it. But this is just a fun thing to have. I love that there's more developments going on with Sega Saturn, and I can't wait to see what February brings, because it is just the first month of a brand new year, and we already have so many unique and different experiences to check out on Saturn. The Saturn Bomberman prototype, the X-Men conversion from the Konami arcade board, Saturn Bomberman Fight being translated into English, and now Maria Renard's Revenge. And if you haven't played Rondo of Blood, this might not seem familiar, but this three-eyed skull is one of the sub-bosses in that game, and it seems like if we could just defeat him here, we could move on to stage 4, but there was absolutely nothing I could figure out as far as the gameplay was concerned to be able to beat the boss. If you do hit the C button, you're going to have a sub-weapon attack as well, which will damage everything on screen, and there are heart collectibles, but I don't really see any sort of heart meter, so I'm pretty sure you just have unlimited hearts the entire way around. But just seeing this skull remade from the Rondo version, looking different but still instantaneously recognizable, is a fun time, and that's why I love doing videos on these work in progress demos, even if they aren't the most visually interesting thing, because there isn't that much gameplay there yet. That skull wiggling around is just a fun look, and it really makes me want to see what happens next. So leave me a comment down below and tell me if you're enjoying these sort of demo videos and if you want to see more, because if this updates in the future with more gameplay, I will definitely loop back around, because I now am very curious what's going on with this project. But if you want to play Maria Renard's Revenge today, just go ahead and Google it. You're going to find it very easily. The Amiga version is definitely more done, but the Sega Saturn version is here in a beta, and you can check it out. Short of that, we'll see you guys next time. That wiggling skull is going to be here forever. Bye bye.